Are you a public speaker or an entertainer struggling to close the deal with a potential client or event planner? You know the ones. You get a lead, you get a call, you chat them up, you send your quote, and then, well, let me assure you, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips to close those leads, and I'll back them up with the psychological principles that make them work. Before we get to these game-changing tips, here's a little bit about me. My name's Eric, and for the last 38 years, I've been a speaker, a best-selling author, a nationally syndicated radio and television host, and yes, I am a magician, a mentalist, and a bald guy. I've produced hundreds of YouTube videos and thousands of hours of content across many different channels, and with this video, I've decided to fill a gap that I see missing on this platform. Starting from scratch, I'm going to teach new and aspiring public speakers how to get more gigs, make more money, and present more creatively. Are you ready? Tip number 1. Speed is of the essence. When somebody reaches out to you, whether it's by text or email or phone, you gotta respond quickly. The psychological factor at play is the development of a sense of urgency. You see, a quick response tells the event planner that you are there for them. And when you reply quickly, chances of them replying back to you go up by about 30%. If they do reply, your chances of getting the gig go way up, but only if you're the first in their inbox. How do you reply so fast? I do it by having pre-written templates that cover the most common lead requests. I just add their first name and send it off. If you'd like to take a look at the actual templates that I use for several of my common lead requests, you can have them for free by simply clicking the link for the magic words, my speaker's blueprint, in the description box. Tip number 2 is never ever quote a price until you've spoken directly with the decision maker. Now, I know that this is controversial. Some platforms force you to include a quote. I'm thinking of The Bash. But let me be clear, I don't use those platforms. There's a ton of psychology going on here. Building rapport and trust. My friend Bob Berg wrote, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. It also allows you to assess the event scope and resources. For instance, a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking to a woman who contacted me for an MC position. The event had 200 people coming. There were VIPs flying in from all over the country, and I believe that their expected revenue was about $32,000 in ticket sales. That helped me know what to charge. And finally, if you actually get to speak to the person in charge, it allows you the opportunity to effectively negotiate. This is what I call the dance. They ask, how much do you charge? You ask, how much do you have? And this conversation allows you to gain insight that gives you the advantage to answer those questions. Tip number 3, ask your own questions that show that you understand their pain. This entire conversation is not about you. It's one of the more common mistakes that I see people making. In fact, this is about them. And I'll give you an example. Here are 3 key questions that I ask with every single interaction with an event planner. Number 1, what does success look like? What does it look like for you as it relates to my role? Listen to what they have to say. They're going to give you the clues, and you'll know immediately whether or not you are capable of filling those shoes. Number 2, have you ever had someone like me and it didn't work out the way you expected? This is most likely to be an unexpected question, and they may get a little nervous about answering, but it's an important question because it demonstrates that you care about history not repeating itself. Finally, the third question that I always ask is, after we get done with talking about all the things that are important to them, I say, if I did all that and then I added this at no extra expense, would that be good? And what I'm talking about when I say this is something like, you want a stage show, but what if I threw in an hour of cocktail strolling? Would that be good? I actually have a list of about 20 different questions that I ask depending on the situation. If you want them, they're included in my Magic Words Speaker's Blueprint. You can download that for free. Tip number 4 for getting more gigs is to be willing to demonstrate. The psychological principle at play is confidence. It demonstrates your confidence in your own abilities. They may or may not have ever heard of you. And if they haven't, here's a great way to offer them an exposure. What do? I use Zoom or FaceTime, and I offer it to them with every single interaction. If they take you up on it, make sure that you make it creative. Take 5 to 10 minutes max. This is not a long phone call. It's a quick demonstration that shows that you are capable, and it allows them the opportunity to see you in action where they may never have. Here's tip number 5, and I really want you to listen carefully because this one could quite possibly be the most important. It has to do with mindset, and it goes like this. You cannot lose what you never had. The psychological principle behind this is the fear of missing out, right? FOMO. This is all about your mindset. I have a client who really struggles with this. They get leads, they send off the letters as I tell them that they should, and then eventually they don't get the gig. The event planner decides to go with someone else. And it is a very difficult thing for them emotionally. I get phone calls and they say, "Hey, what is going on? I keep doing this. Maybe I'm doing something wrong." And in fact, I reply, "I think you're actually doing something right." You see, you're not going to appeal to everyone. There will be times that you get chosen, and there will be more times that you don't get chosen. And that's okay. You can't lose what you never had. If they don't select you, they're not a client, they're only a prospect. And if they've chosen somebody else, there are 1,000 different variables that could come to play. Maybe you were the least priced or the highest priced. Maybe somebody else got to them first. Maybe a lot of people got to them first. Everything has to come together in order for it to be a good fit. And if they choose somebody else, it's not a good fit. Don't be upset about that. Understand the way the game is played. I like to say it this way: desperation has an odor. When you have an abundant mindset, it allows you the freedom and the confidence that you can't be shaken, and it shows up subconsciously. All right, we made it through all 5 of those tips, but here's my bonus tip for you, and that's this: close them on the phone. This is known as the presumptive or assumptive close. Salespeople do it all the time. In fact, top sales professionals agree presumptive closing techniques expedite deals and reduces decision fatigue. Say something like this: "I'm excited about your event. Would you like me to send a proposal today?" That type of question at the end of my conversation typically gains me about 60% yeses. Some of them say, "Oh, well, I need to check with the boss." If that's the case, they're not the decision maker. Or they may say, "I need to interview more people and I'll get back to you." There's nothing you can do about that, but remember that last tip: you can't lose what you never had. Keep that in mind as you smile, say thank you. And by the way, if you're on the phone, smile. People can tell. They can hear a smile. And follow up. I'll have another video about following up, because really the fortune is in the follow up. I believe that to be true, and I can help you with that. There you have it. That's my top 5. Make it 6 tips to better success with event planners. I close between 60 and 80% of all the leads that come my way, and I'm as busy as I want to be. If that's what you want, know this: you can do it. Don't forget to grab the magic words. That's my speaker's blueprint download for free. It's in the description box below. And if you have any other questions about this or any other topics that you'd like me to make a video about, drop them in the comment section below. I will read, I will respond, and if I get enough interest, I'll make a video. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join me for mine. If you liked it, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.